Welcome to Post Game Podcast. I'm your host, June. I got Foster with me once again. I, I don't know where to begin.
Yeah, we're really good. Like really good.
It's one of those episodes. Pay attention to the title, man. You know what's going on with the Pistons. You haven't been living under a rock. You've seen the product on the floor. I started watching the game the other day, and my hopes were high. What was the game when they which game was that when they had like 46 points in the first quarter?
I almost texted you that game, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep that to myself.
You know what?
It was the Kings game.
I was thinking the same thing because I was like, look, and I said, let me wait till the second quarter, right?
For sure.
And they scored 46 points in the first quarter, and I think they had like 17 in the second quarter. And they were up at one point by 20.
Yeah.
And they were down 5 or down 3, something like that.
Yeah, because you figure you first half, you're in the first half with 60 points. Okay, all right, we don't, but we had given all those points back.
Yeah. And then last night they surrendered another 130-point game. It's like, so long story short, today's show is about the Pistons, but it's more about what us fans are going through right now.
It's not about that. It's not about that.
It's more so about what we as fans are witnessing, and because at the end of the day, we're still going to cheer for the Pistons. We're still going to check to see if they're going to win. We're still going to watch the games. I got a couple comments from Troy, so I'm gonna read them out loud and pin them up. Troy said he was at the game. These guys play no defense, offense either sometimes. He also said no effort on defense at all. And during the only one who tries, then he picks up a few fouls and he can't contest anything anymore. I mean, I've been saying from day one, when you have trouble winning and hitting shots, it's time to get back to the basics and take some pride in defense. That'll get transition points. That'll, even when you're turning the ball over, if you're forcing turnovers and being stout on defense, kind of send some energy to your way, So if you're playing great defense or the effort is there, it kind of, turns everything else up. But it's kind of painful to watch, Foss. I used to look forward, like, I get these alerts, 7 o'clock, because, that's the time they usually play when they're playing, here, 7 o'clock, Pistons game. Watched every game. Past few years, every game. And now it's like, I'll check it out I'll check out the score at halftime and see what's up. And if they're behind, I'm definitely not watching the second half.
We're not catching up. That's just not going to
We're
happen.
not catching up. Okay. Then check this out. When I check at halftime, now I'm waiting to the third quarter to see if they're still up. If they're still up, I'll watch the fourth quarter. If not, you know what I'm saying? If they're behind, I just ain't going to watch it because I don't think they had the ability to come back at all.
We got to play. You got to play defense for that. You
Yeah.
know, scoring is all fine and dandy, but if you're just matching the points that they are already scoring on us, well, yeah.
Yeah. Troy also says Joe Harris getting minutes is a disgrace, and that's on Troy Weaver.
He hit a couple threes against the Kings. He was it was I don't know. I'll just say it was pleasant to see him get back out there because he's been on the bench all year long, making $20 million, by the way. He's the highest paid player on the team.
Remember, Foster, when we said, wonder what it's like if Cade didn't play or sat the bench? Oh, we see now.
47 points in the first quarter without him, though. I was like, okay, hey, hey.
Hey,
Duran
man.
was balling. Granted, Sabonis was
Sabonis
equally
had
let it
37.
at the end, by the end, but Duran was. I think they said Duran's been taking the ball up the court lately.
Yeah, he has been.
That's weird.
Yeah. From the little bit of time I watched the Sacramento game, same stuff happening. No defense, turning the ball over.
Yeah, Duran says that um there's no effort out there. People just stop caring. Which was interesting to hear from the youngest player on the team. I think he's younger than Asar Thompson, or
Yeah.
they're around the same age.
So let's just say we're gonna look at it both ways. Let's say that's true, right? That's on the coach. If people are not caring and they've given up, because see, when you play organized basketball, the first person you think to let down, or any kind of team sport, the first person you think about letting down is not the fans, not the parent, your coach.
Yeah,
And if you're not caring, if you don't care, he's lost you in that locker room. That locker room is lost.
it's hard to keep a team losing that many games in a row. Like to keep the morale that high.
Man. It's one. I've never seen a season like this. So I
Yeah,
will I'll give them a pass. Because the second part of that is, as a player, you shouldn't be saying that. But he's young, and this is something he's probably never seen in his life because he's probably won at every level he's been at.
these guys are the best AAU players, the best players in their city, their states,
Yes.
the college they played for.
Probably
None of
never.
these,
He probably never lost 10 games in a row in his life.
never.
Troy also
Duran's only
said,
18, so like
I mean,
when?
but I'm talking about he probably played, you know,
As long as he's been,
AAU,
yeah.
high school, college. Troy says, in person, I could see it. They look dead and defeated. I'm with you 100%. Monty getting paid way too much not to be yelling at these at
Guys.
these people. I can't cuss, but I feel you. I feel you.
I
I
feel
feel you.
that.
Dan Campbell did it, but he's special. Well, we don't want to get off on a tangent. I mean, and talk about the Lions, the playoff Lions,
Yeah.
the hosting at home Detroit Lions.
Mm.
And I never thought I'd see the day where I'd be so geeked about the football team and so down about the Pistons. It's crazy.
It's different.
It's weird how that worked out. But at the same time, going back to Duran, probably never experienced anything like this in life where, you know what I'm saying, where he's just doing the best he can and losing. Because with his athletic ability, his height, if he's doing the best he can, they're not losing 5 or 6 games in a row. Now, we're talking about a team that lost 28 games straight.
Hey, we got enough time in the year to run it back one more time, man. One more time. That's the beauty in doing it
Oh, fuck,
early
that's
in the
not a
year.
good thing.
Hey,
But and the thing is, the trade deadline is approaching. Now, that's the only thing that's keeping me in tune. And I heard something that I'm gonna tell you what I heard today. Is one of the things is someone said you don't hear anything about any trades, right? You never do though.
Well, what do you mean you don't hear anything?
Well,
I've been
well,
seeing
I'm
our
talking about
name
I'm
thrown
talking
in.
about you see these things like they're talking about as far as not the news or hypothetical things. They're not hearing enough about transactions. Like you'll see in past seasons, you'll say such and such reached out for to such and such for a trade, but it didn't work out. Those type of things, right?
Oh, yeah.
They haven't seen people are not seeing that. But that doesn't mean anything's not happening because there's a lot of trades you don't know where they came from or how it conjured. It just happens.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they try they because they have young pieces to trade. I'm pretty sure some of these people on this team will do good in other places. But yeah, Troy says we need to trade Ivy for Siakam. I love Ivy, but Monty seems stubborn on wasting his talent. Hey man, Siakam. That would be instant offense. Um, that would be a person that Cade could defer to and not have to worry about so much. I mean, not have so much on his shoulders. So yeah, something needs to happen. I saw something in the on a post Instagram. It said about what's the young fella from Atlanta, the guard
Oh, Murray. Yeah.
Murray, Dejounte Murray. I don't know how you guys will feel about that, but at this point, hey, as long as it's not Cade, get him in here.
I like him as a player, but the whole thing with him and Trey Young is that Trey Young needs the ball in his hands,
Yes, he does.
and Murray's not a off ball. They pretty much just trade. They if Murray's got the ball, you know, he's in charge, and vice versa. And I feel like you bring that in with Cade, it's like unless Cade's going to be off ball,
Mhm.
you're gonna have the same issues. Like
Troy says no defense, but at least he drops 20 consistently.
come on, Murray.
Yeah.
I think Murray is tops in the league in steals. I actually think
I like to see what his assist to turnover ratio is.
that's a good question.
Because if his assist to turnover ratio is good, he can be the point guard here and not move Cade to off guard.
I think he's a pretty good defensive player from what I remember, at least in San Antonio. Maybe things changed when he got to Atlanta because I know they give up a ton of points.
Well,
Um,
Atlanta doesn't play defense as a whole.
right, right. Murray, what's it called? I want to say Young averages all the assists. I think he averages like over 10 assists a game. But
Mhm.
as far as his assist to turnover, 5 assists to 2 turnovers a game.
I'll take it.
You'll take that?
I'll take it.
And he's every year he's averaged at least a steal, but he's had years where he's averaged upwards. The most was 2 steals a game his last year in San Antonio. So I want to say because he's like a taller point guard.
Yeah,
He's like 6'5", so
yeah.
he can guard 6'5", so he can guard the 2, guard the 3. So
I'll take it, bro. Five assists, 2 turnovers. Yeah.
you take that. So
Yeah,
to
I'll
what
take that.
2.5 to every 1 turnover.
Yeah, I mean, what's Cade's assist to turnover ratio when he's handling the ball most of the game?
Yeah, he's definitely turning the ball over 3-4 times a game.
I've always read it was 6 or 5 every time I read the stat line on him. Troy says that anything is an upgrade. Most of our players will be out the league once they leave Detroit.
Well, let's do a list. Who does
Okay,
that consist of?
okay. This is a very, very, very good statement for us to really talk on. Um,
Mm.
most of our players will be out of the league once they leave. I think it would be easier if we tackle this, Foster.
Who?
Who would be in the league if they left?
Thompson. He's still young. Duran.
Okay.
Cade, of course.
Okay.
Burke still got some years left in him. Bogey, of course. Monte Morris, probably. Actually, it's
Um.
my well, no, when he's coming back soon, and we're gonna see. But his career would suggest that he's not done yet.
Okay.
When you talk about assist to turnover ratio, he's like top of the league as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
But I think Stewart is a guy that
He's been out, right?
he's been out, but historically, it will in a very short history, teams have called their phone about him. Starting wise, is the question is who could start if they left here, or who would be getting real playing time, and that list is a lot smaller, which is an issue because you got guys on teams that they may be on the bench on one team, but they could start in Detroit. So, but like I don't think Stewart would start. Thompson wouldn't be starting anywhere.
Well,
Uh,
Troy has his list of
he's got a
who would
list.
be out the league.
Yeah, I want to see.
Okay. Troy said Livers, Killian, Knox, Harris, Bagley.
Mm,
Bagley will be going.
yeah, Harris. Yeah,
Wiseman.
Wiseman. Okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
can agree with all of that.
All of that. I
All of
got I
those.
got no.
I don't
Yeah,
think Livers has
no.
a future outside of here after.
And
I
I
think
hope he
he's
never
bit.
sees our podcast because I feel like he is a target over here.
Yeah. I mean, it's not inability, is more injury. He hasn't had a chance to really uh get acclimated. So like if he plays like half a season, and I could expect more from him, but he's still treading the waters. Killian, I don't think he survives nowhere else. Uh
I would love to see what it looked like.
but you, but
Killian is one of those guys that I would love to see in a different situation what he could accomplish around better weapons, if you will. But yeah, here it just hasn't. Knox, we've seen Knox in New York. We've
hey,
seen
you know
Knox.
what? I like what I'm seeing out of Kevin Knox a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
He has flashes where he can be good. So I think he could play somewhere else. Maybe.
Yeah.
But Harris, no. I
Yeah, he's cooked. I think he's
think Marvin Bagley. I used to think really high of Marvin Bagley.
Bagley. I just hate that he never developed an outside shot because the way we need a power forward and the way he's been pigeonholed as a center because he shoots 20 something percent from three, it's not giving it because he's not having a terrible year. He's just not getting any minutes at this. Well, he doesn't play at all.
I don't see how Wiseman is getting more minutes than he is.
I think they are exhausting all opportunities for him because he is in a contract year, and we traded for him, and now that we're kind of stuck with him. We traded Sadiq Bey, who hasn't set the world on fire since he left, but I mean the man did have 50 points against and he did torch the Celtics every time he saw him. He had 50 against the Magic, who were awful then, but
Hold that thought, Foster. We're gonna get to a break. This is a short break, so give us about 6-7 seconds. Also, I'd like to point out, as a fan, we have talks like this. Like we come up with scenarios like who wouldn't make it somewhere else. We come up with trade talks. people who would fit in here, people who wouldn't fit in somewhere else. Because, like I said, I think I said this a few episodes ago. We can't get on the show and talk bad about the Pistons every single episode.
Got to do something.
But they're playing bad and they're losing every game. So we have to be creative and talk about the Pistons in a different light without sugarcoating it, because what we have is we have a bad product. Let's just keep it real. I'm just gonna keep it funky with you. It's bad right now. And I think there's too much money invested in the guidance, meaning the head coach. It's too much invested in the draft picks. Cade is your number one pick. Too much investments in some of the people that aren't contributing. Um, that being Joe Harris, $20 million a year. Come on, man. I'm pretty sure there's a team out there that wants a shooter like Joe that we can get some kind of stock for, whether it's trade or somebody that can play a little bit. Um, Troy says Stu would be a gym backup on the Celtics. I think anybody could be a good gym on the. I think the environment that Boston has right now, you don't have to go in there and do anything but be a good practice player and a teammate. And when your number's called, just go out there with those all-stars and try to make, try not to ruin it at that point. Troy says we need our Rasheed Wallace, that big who's also a long-range shooter. Me and Foster has always said this from the beginning of the year. We thought that was the issue, not having a four that could stretch the floor. But we got Bogey. I mean, he's playing.
Yeah.
It's just not making a difference right now. And I mean, what's the record right now? 3 and what?
30-something.
I need to know the exact record.
The exact record. All right,
I need to know.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you tell me that it looks like if what Duran is saying is true, and they're 3 and
35. Wow.
3 and 35, they're liable not to win another game before the All-Star break. And they're liable not to win but 10 games all season.
10 games? Wow. We've already played half the year. You know that, right?
They may not win 10 games. That's what I'm saying.
We're 38 games in.
Yeah.
And half is 41.
Yeah.
So we about there. So we really should only have another maybe 3 wins.
Yeah.
But even then, we could, if we lose another if we lose another 20 plus games, that's gonna be hard to come by.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying I'm not asking much as a fan to win 10 games in an 82 game season. All I'm saying is that ain't gonna be possible at this rate. I don't see it happening. Especially if they have that spirit in the locker room that we don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah. When do you snap out of that? Because I feel like at some point you're just on pilot. You're just on autopilot. You're just like, oh, we got a game today. Oh, all right. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm going to offend a few people with this, but the city of Detroit is not the place to not really give a damn. There's too many casinos. There's too many. There's too many distractions. You can be out in these streets. You got money. It's all these female, bro. It's just not a time to be not giving a care. Like you get lost here, man. You lose your way. You know what I'm saying? Troy says we got blown out by the Spurs, a historically bad team. You know what? And the crazy thing is that was one of the teams that Detroit was favored to win. That was the only game that they were favored to win all season, and they lost by about 27, 28 points. I think the score was 130 to 103 or something like that.
They lost by 25.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
10.5.
Troy says our Vegas line is at around 10.5. I don't see it coming.
Ooh, that'd be tough.
I don't see it.
That's tough. Double digits. Ooh, double digits.
That would have to be a hot streak, like a 2 or 3 game win streak coming, like something.
Wouldn't even know what to do with myself.
No, man. No. No. No.
But big trade, or a win now type player. We could rattle off a couple wins possibly. They make it seem like we are going to be active at the trade deadline. So
The the only way I see Pistons getting wins now is that we're that team that goes that that has a playoff team come into play and they say, "You know what? We're gonna sit LeBron James tonight. We can beat them without them.
and I
We're
don't
gonna
know.
sit Anthony Davis tonight, and we should be able to compete with them without them." That's where the wins are gonna come from.
I don't know. I don't know what that would do.
I'm just saying, like, you're gonna have teams that's gonna be like, we can win versus them without and rest our players. You see what Utah did when they came in here? They had a very, very lackadaisical lineup.
Utah is a Utah's an interesting team. They beat the Bucks down,
Yeah,
and then I saw them beat somebody. Oh, they beat the Nuggets,
they beat the Nuggets the other night,
bro. They are tricky.
but they had all of their starters. I'm talking about. You see what happened the other night. I mean, when they came here the first time, I didn't know half the players,
Yeah, it was
and
a
they were
weird.
balling. And that's what I think teams are going to do. They're going to say,
You can
okay,
tell they got a good coach.
yeah,
They got a young guy over there, and I feel like I think they just like to play for him because
yeah,
they were playing. They were the Nuggets is
number one.
the won a championship last year, and that team was healthy, like Jokic, Murray, Porter, um, Gordon. Their whole team played yesterday.
Yeah,
Jackson, everybody played yesterday.
yeah. And all I'm saying is, you're going to have teams that's going to come in here because they might even they might even be at home and say, "Hey, we're going to rest our tired starter tonight." They're going to have one of them starters or a couple of starters, and hey, we're going to rest them tonight. It's the Pistons.
I think they play harder versus us low key though. Like I like once the Kings woke up, they're like, oh no, we're not going out like that. We're not going out
Well,
like
they
that.
said that they like Kyle Kuzma, part of a horrible team himself, said, "No, we ain't losing to them."
Yeah, on a terrible man.
They have 3 or 4 more wins than Detroit, or we're not losing to them. It's like they're looking down at, and it's like it's becoming embarrassing.
It's becoming. Oh yeah, we so far gone.
I got a Pistons jacket. I ain't wore it all year.
Yeah, it looked funny. It looked a little funny right now.
No, I confiscated my son's Chicago Bulls jacket. I'm gonna wear that.
You wear the Bulls jacket. The Bulls been cooking lately.
Well, I,
Oh,
my
yeah.
son got a bad. My pet peeve is hanging up your coat when you come in the house.
Yeah.
And his whole Christmas vacation, he was gone, but his jacket was on the floor in his room.
On the floor.
On the floor.
I thought you
Just
were gonna
bought
say
the
at
jacket.
least bed.
Just bought that jacket, right? So he gets back here, say, "Hey man, hang your coats up. Your coat been in the same spot for 2 weeks. You've been gone." I told him this Monday. Go in his room this morning. It's on the floor.
Mhm.
I said, "You know what? Since you have a problem with hanging up this coat, this jacket, it's a varsity jacket,
Yeah,
Chicago
bro.
Bulls." I said, I'll wear it.
Take that
Thank
off
you.
your hands. Yeah.
I'm sorry to put so much to bear on you about this, giving you this nice jacket. You can't hang it up, so. And I'm going to buy me a hat. I'm gonna wear it in front of you. Do what I said, do, son. So, yeah. So, uh, Troy says Mark Cannon, the type of player we need. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Marketing
Yeah,
is nice. He is
he's
nice.
nice.
And he's bounced. He's been a journeyman. Like he started with the Bulls, went to
Mhm.
the Cavaliers for 1 year, and then he was in the Mitchell trade, the Donovan Mitchell trade. and then he became an all-star last year. So yeah, yeah. Porzingis, same type of style. We don't have any guy. We don't have any guys that even resemble, like not even like, oh, okay, we might have the inkling they might be. No, not at all.
Troy says he need a second team to root for. I mean, secretly, I think we all do.
For sure. Yeah.
I
I
think we
I,
all
I
do.
I almost name dropped it, you know.
Who else do you root for, Foster? I need to hear this.
The Knicks. The Knicks.
I knew you. I knew you were a Knicks
You
fan.
knew that. You knew
Yeah,
that.
I don't know why I forgot, but
It
yeah.
would be cool actually. And the Pistons are often, we have one of their draft picks, but they'll never get it because it's lottery protected.
Right.
But yeah, we got Burks from them, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind seeing Stewart go to New York. I think New York would love. Actually, Stewart is from New York. He's from Mount Vernon, or he's from upstate. He's from upstate New York.
You know what's crazy, Foster?
What's up?
I don't have a second NBA team.
No,
I
there's a
have a
lot of good.
second
There's a lot
football
of good
team.
basketball. There's a lot of good basketball out there, man.
I have multiple college teams I like.
Yeah,
Don't have a second NBA team.
Rochester. That's what it is. Rochester. Yeah.
I hate them all. I hate them all.
You hate them all.
I hate them all. I hate the Lakers. I don't hate the Knicks. I don't hate the Knicks.
I've
But I don't
grown
like
to follow the Raptors now that they made that trade. With involving Quickly and Barrett. I try to check in on the
I
New
don't
York
like
guys.
Toronto.
Hey, they gifted us a win. Why not?
I don't like Toronto. I don't like Indiana.
Oh no, well, yeah, Indiana.
I don't like Chicago. I don't like Charlotte. The
And
Miami Heat is tolerable.
why the Heat?
I don't know. It's just like I like Spoelstra as a coach. Jimmy Butler. I'm a fan of Jimmy Butler.
I like Jimmy. Jimmy's fine.
But San Antonio, hate him.
Ah,
Dallas Mavericks, can't stand them.
really?
Houston Rockets, don't like them.
Yeah, you hate everybody. Dang, that's crazy.
I like watching Denver because they're so good.
Yeah.
Don't like Utah.
Not a Luka fan?
Yeah, I like Luka though.
Luka is sweet. I don't care, man.
He's undeniable. I like Luka. I like Luka. Once again, dials back to why when you have a season like this, we talk about other things.
Yeah, we got off on a little.
Oh man,
the Lions. The YouTube user said the Lions will win more games than the Pistons. That's especially on this playoff run. We're gonna rack up a couple more wins. So, yeah.
Wait, Troy. No, we're not gonna do this, Troy. No,
considering not the Bucks.
No.
No.
Look, Troy. There's rules to this, right? You cannot consider the Bucks.
Cleveland, nobody Cleveland. Nobody.
You can't consider the Bucks. You can't consider Chicago. You can't consider definitely not Cleveland.
Not in the Midwest circumference or anywhere.
Nowhere in that circumference. It has to be someone like the NBA Atlantic Division, or you know what I'm saying? Or no, it cannot be Cleveland. It cannot be Pacers. No, Milwaukee. None. Even though Milwaukee's pretty good though.
I got a question. What are we doing with Asar Thompson though? Like just on a like I feel like everybody keeps saying, oh, they're breaking his confidence and what do you I don't know what they want to do with him besides just
my take on it is this, right? Monty Williams said at the beginning of the year he'd be doing the young people a disservice by relying on them every night and playing them so much. Remember him saying that? Now, there was a time in the beginning of the year, Thompson was a starter.
Yeah, very early.
Thompson played a lot of minutes. And he had a drought for a few games. and he just never cracked the rotation again. Now, when you do someone like that, it kind of I can see it hurting your confidence. I can see you second guessing yourself on the floor. I can see a lot of this going against your favor. So, my thing is, you drafted these people for a reason. There's no disservice. He played in the G League. It's
Not the G League, but
not the G League, but
a
the
semi. Yeah,
the semi pro or whatever league he was in. Can't baby him. Can't baby him. Let's see. Troy says wasting him. He was getting 10 boards a game. Now he barely gets 10 minutes. Yeah, that'll do something to your confidence. That would do something to your confidence.
it's scoring, but yeah, actually read that one because that'll sum it up.
Asar can't dribble. He needs to go to a G League to fix his handle and be allowed to shoot 2
Two
for
for
10 for
10
3.
from three. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's what he would do in the pros.
Ivy was on the bench looking disgusted yesterday. He's clearly unhappy with the current situation.
Ivy's been
Troy,
starting though.
Troy, I don't think I'd be happy in that situation either. Whether I can be on the floor with that look that Ivy had on the bench. Like, this is not a good ideal situation for
You know what's
anybody.
disgusting though? I had to go to Isaiah Livers to see for myself where we are at, where he's at right now.
Uh-oh.
He is shooting. This is our starting, pretty much our starting power forward, right? Stewart's not playing. Asar's not starting. Obviously, we know that Asar's having his own offensive woes. Isaiah Livers, he hangs his hat on his defensive versatility, but we are giving up 125 points a game. He is shooting 35% from the field, not from three. From the field, he is shooting 35%. He is shooting 28% from three. 5 points a game. 5 points as a starter. Not like 20 minutes a game is not starter minutes. But 5 points. You should score 5 points before you leave to hit the bench for the first time. For your first substitution, you should be able to rattle off 5 points. He does that a game.
But you bench Oscar Thompson.
Right. Who's a better defender? We can agree that he's probably a better defender than Livers, right?
Hey,
They're
look here,
both
man.
6'6". Livers is quite a bit bigger than him, like size wise, but they're both 6'6". He's really an undersized power forward as is. Yeah, that's
Look here, man.
Therein lies a problem.
I'm not a professional. I'm sure there's a reason why Monty Williams is a head coach and I am not. But at the same time, you're 3-38. I can question some of the things you're doing from a fan, right?
Yeah, you're entitled to.
I'm entitled. You have to play to your strengths. Oscar Thompson did some good things there. If he's not a great ball handler, don't have him handle the route. I mean, he's going to have some hit. From my observation, he has terrible touch around the rim. His shooting is just horrible. Period.
Would you like to know what Thompson's take a guess of his 3-point percentage? Now, granted,
I want to say 22%.
Oh, you're aiming way too.
What is it?
He is shooting. Granted, he's only taking 1.7 threes a game. He is shooting 13.8%. That's
love. That is horrible.
If he takes a couple more and inevitably misses, he will be single digits from three. That's kind of wild. When you need spacing at the four,
And this is my point. What Troy just said. Also played his role perfectly. He was the effort on defense and rebound guy who cuts and dunks. Yeah. Um, he was that he could do that. The YouTube user says Livers has all was always a low ceiling end of the rotation prospect, 10 to 20 situational minutes max. I can agree with that.
Yeah, and therein lies the issue.
Middle school kids shoot 20% from three.
And
I
therein
mean,
lies the problem as far as the way the roster makeup was. We didn't have a backup for, Stewart's hurt. So obviously Stewart would be getting the majority of the minutes, which, you got a guy that's playing 30 minutes a game and who's only averaging 10 points. He hasn't he hasn't had a 20-point game in over a year's time, which is crazy for a starter that, you just paid a whole bunch of money to. But anyways, when you got guys like Wiseman and Bagley, very redundant there.
yeah.
Duren is obviously your starter, but Bagley can't play the four because he's an equally bad 3-point shooter as Thompson is. So your the way you put the lineup together, the way you put the roster together, you got a lot of redundant players when it's all said and done. So
hold that thought, Foster.
Yeah.
So do we keep watching and hoping, or are we watching just to see? Because I find myself watching so I can either add on to a conversation or defend certain players.
I like to call it peeking because I can't watch with both eyes. Yeah, I just kind of peek, like check in. Oh, okay, we getting our butts handed to us. All right, I'm out. I check in, I tap in here and there, but
the Pistons was playing the other night and the Matrix was on. I've seen the Matrix a million times. It was like I know how both stories are going to end. I just watch the Matrix.
At least some action. There's some quality action in it.
At least Neo gets over it,
Yeah.
YouTube user says we didn't have a legitimate starting four. We don't have a legitimate starting five there.
But Duren, you don't consider Duren to be a legitimate starting five? Oh, he's talking about the power forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not four players. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We don't have a Stewart was it, and he wouldn't be a starter anywhere else at the four.
Not long term. Not for the long haul. He's just too limited physically.
Troy says, imagine we signed Grant Williams and Cam Johnson this offseason, how different we would be.
I don't think Cam has panned out too crazy, but he definitely would have been a better alternative to Stu. Let me see where Cam's at. I don't think he's been. I
would love to see his numbers.
Of course, this is one of the ones. Oh no, 14 points a game.
I'll take it.
You know what they're paying him?
Is it higher than what they're giving Joe Harris?
I think he's making upwards of 20. I'd have to check that too, but yeah.
And how many points per game is Joe Harris having?
Oh well, Joe Harris was a rental for the year. I understand that. That was expiring
rental, man.
Expiring contract. It's just weird. It's just messed up because we basically opened them up to being able to sign them. So it's kind of a head scratcher there. And he just hasn't done anything. As far as Grant Williams is cool. He's an undersized power forward too.
The YouTube user said yes, it's higher than Harris. So yeah, he gets paid more.
Yeah, but he's younger. It makes sense. Equals Cam Johnson. Yeah,
he should get paid more than Harris because Cam is on the floor every night.
Yeah.
Joe Harris. Troy says Joe Harris plus Monty Morris equals Cam Johnson.
The hopes was that we would continue. We would be able to still compete, knowing that we're gonna make our splash down the line. Which with the makeup of the roster, it was very imbalanced, but talent wise, we have talent. We have
Parker,
talent.
was that down the line including this season, or are you talking about down the line?
No, later. Like, but we were gonna be at least competitive. Like you in a bubble. Yeah, Alec Burks wasn't gonna shoot 20% for a month. Joe Harris was gonna shoot getting 10 mil to be a cheerleader. Oh my
Gotta
god,
read it out
yeah.
loud for
Oh yeah,
listeners.
yeah. So so Troy said salary wise, I'm saying Monty Morris getting 10 million to be a cheerleader. Yeah, that's the killer.
Yeah.
The kicker is that he is another, borderline starter. Monty Morris was a starter last year for the Wizards, and the Wizards weren't terrible. They had Porzingis, they had Brad Beal. They were a decent team last year.
YouTube user says tampering never happens, but I'm pretty sure Troy Weaver knew that Cam and JG would not consider signing as free agents in Detroit.
Grant would have.
No one ever tampers in the NBA.
Tell that to the Knicks because they
Yeah.
definitely got accused of that.
All teams do it, man.
Yeah.
They just do it through players. That's all.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as the players tampering. So they just do it through the players. Think LeBron ain't picked up the phone and said, "Hey, man,
They
you
do it. They do it openly. They tweet at each other like,
man."
"Hey, you like LA?"
Yeah. So, this is crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
3-38. Boss, I would,
35. 3 and we'll
35. I'm
get
sorry.
there. We'll get there.
One game at a time.
Yeah, just give it
3-30. Foster, this is the first time. This is me and Foster's first year covering Pistons basketball. So if you want to blame us, maybe that's what it is. But we picked a heck of a season to do a podcast on Pistons basketball.
Well, two extremes. We picked
Yeah, but couldn't we have just picked the Knicks? We'd have been. We'd
yeah.
have been.
I could definitely
No, but you see, we're Pistons fans. We can't do that unless this happens again next year. That third year, man. I don't know, man. I can't see the basketball gods just like hating on us this bad for us to go through this again. I'm praying for leniency the second half of the season.
Well, the return of Monty Morris. What do you think about that? Do you yeah, Troy said Foster talked about I definitely could have. I mean, check out Fans First Network, click the Knicks link, and you got a couple Knicks articles written by your boy. Just shameless.
Hold on, say it again. Reiterate for the people where they can find the articles that Foster has written.
Well, you can find all of our audio. You can find all of our audio on Fans First Network, of course. You click on the Pistons link or the Detroit Lions link. But if you want to check out some recent articles from me on the New York Knicks and the recent trades and whatnot, I'm on there. You can even find out what my government name is.
Let me reiterate for the people. You can check out Bleachers to Speakers. That's the podcast we do for Detroit Lions on all podcast streaming platforms. Just type in Bleachers to Speakers, FFSN. You can also check out our Pistons podcast, which is Post Game Podcast, on those same platforms by just searching Post Game Podcast, FFSN. You can check us out there. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Foster does a great player segment on our Bleachers to Speakers YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. We don't have any subscribers there. Please subscribe. There's a video up there that Foster did of CD Deuce, and that's doing very well. There's also 2 other players on that channel where Foster does this segment, and he's gathering the facts. He did his homework. He did his homework. He talks about these players, and I think Foster, maybe we can do some of these Pistons players on there as well.
That might be interesting to see what that looks like. It's a
But
little
see, you would have
different.
to do more homework because
More
you're already
homework.
writing articles, you're already doing these player check-ins. So I don't want to put too much, on your plate there. But you do such a great job. I don't want to step into that. That's a wonderful segment by you. And go subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. Subscribe to Motor City Metrics too, so you can watch these episodes as well. So, I think I've had enough. I've had all I can stand today, Foster. This is a
We
lot.
always make it happen because this is like, what are we gonna talk about for 45 minutes? Lincoln.
This is becoming like a venting session.
Yeah, it's definitely therapeutic.
I mean, we need therapy after that torture, after watching these games here. Um, I don't think this would happen in a Lakers franchise.
No, no.
I don't think this.
There was some bad years in LA, but not as of recently.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think this would happen at the major franchises across the country, like in
Well,
the NBA. Not 3 and 38,
The
3 and
Knicks had
35,
some bad years though.
3 and
The Knicks
35 though.
No, I mean nobody has ever experienced that. So except outside of Philly.
I
Philly had
mean,
some
Washington, what, 6 and 29?
yeah, those are actually kind of big markets though. Philly, New York,
That's what I'm saying.
DC, yeah.
That wouldn't happen. What, you consider Washington a big market?
Maybe not Washington, but Philly. Philly and New York I
Philly's
consider.
definitely a big market.
Yeah.
I
Knicks
just
had some rough years too though.
Yeah. Troy
It
says,
actually
"Thanks for the Piston talk, guys. I love the team and enjoy talking Pistons." Well, Troy, I 1,000 times appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen and uh, provide some feedback. We love interacting with our fans. I want to say our fans because we ain't nobody, but
supporters for
the
sure.
supporters. We love when people are paying attention and asking questions. That is so dope. Like me and Foster, we make sure we try to read every single comment because you guys are important to us as just as important as us sitting here talking basketball. So,
And YouTube user, he was asking about link in the description. Are you able to control what's in the description?
uh, let's see. Can you put the link in the description?
Like after, like once we post? Nah,
Sure,
maybe not. Can you? Would you? Okay,
I can figure it
because
out.
we don't
Yeah,
have
you can put the link
access.
in the. I okay. Here it is. Right, we are now in Motor City Metrics. I'm not sure if they appreciate us promoting our channel with that. I don't know, Foster. I don't know, but
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah, yeah. The fans first, though. Maybe I don't know.
I'll figure it out. I got you. I can figure it out. I can definitely put links. I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll try it. So, Foster, do you have anything to say before we get out of here?
Well, we got Monte Morris returning soon, and now Troy Weaver can fully evaluate his roster that he comprised this year. That's done so well this year. This is the final piece that we finally get to evaluate. But in all seriousness, at this point, I'm in the humor me stage. Humor me with
You got to be trying to be joking because I'm like sitting
no,
here.
I'm just saying, humor me. Let's see what he provides. Maybe he comes in, he's a world beater, shuts the world down, and we can actually get some. We can actually trade him as a rental piece for a team that's desperate for a point guard. Like, I mean, at this point, we gotta entertain him. We're not even quite halfway through the year, so we got a whole lot of games left in the year. We got to find some way to entertain ourselves. Cade's not even playing at this point. Like, we're playing without our best player, and we are the worst team in the league by far. Like, this is like when we were talking about all-time low, Cade's not playing at this point. Playoff run, yeah. Troy said just in
Troy,
time for our
chill.
playoff run.
The YouTube user says, "Thanks, guys. This is my first show, and I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you. Please share it, like it,
Subscribe.
subscribe. Of course,
Every Thursday lately, right?
it just depends on how bad we feel.
Yeah.
We'd have a set day if we were like 25-16 right now, but
Oh, what? Oh my God. We'd have weekly pizza parties. Like what? It would be crazy.
oh man. See, the thing is, the fan side of me is saying it would be nice if we won about 20 games after.
What's funny is we
man.
probably are more humorous and more kick back in these shows because it's just like, hey, we got to spruce it up somehow. We're serious. We're a little bit more rigid in the
No,
Lion
folks.
show,
That
man.
Lion show kind of festive though.
It's festive, especially after the game, and we've been winning. But we're serious about, hey, we need to run the ball and we need to take care of the ball and no fumbles. Like we're a little bit more on business over there. We stand on business over there.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun.
Well, we talk about turnovers here too.
Oh boy!
I would get out of here. That was
See, that was too soon. Too soon.
That's one thing they do is turn the ball over. Good night, folks. Female.